Hey gang, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 1978 film Paradise Alley. This film stars Sylvester Stallone, Lee Continolito, Armanda Asante, Frank McRae, Ann Archer, Kevin Conway, Terry Funk, Joyce Ingalls, Joe Spinell, Amy Eccles, Tom Waits, and Chick Casey. It was directed by Sylvester Stallone, who also starred in it and who also would write it. But anyway, Sylvester has also directed. He starred in everything, of course. Everybody knows who Sylvester Stallone is. But he's also directed Rockies 2, 3, and 5, Rambo, and The Expendables. Music was by Bill Conti. Yay, Bill Conti, who did the music for Rocky Balboa, Lock Up, Private Benjamin, and Rockies 1, 2, 3, and 5. Cinematography was by Laszlo Kovacs, who also did cinematography for Return to Me, Paper Moon, Ghostbusters, and 2 Weeks Notice. Edited by Eve Newman. Written by Sylvester Stallone, who also wrote Cliffhanger, First Blood, and Rocky, all of which he starred in as well, by the way. And produced by John F. Roach, Ronald A. Suppa, and Jeff Wald. Okay, basically, guys, this is the story of these two brothers that live in New York, and one of them is very ambitious, but he's also very lazy. And he wants to earn a buck any way he can because he's in debt up to his eyeballs. He's a con man, essentially. So he bets that his brother, who's kind of this slow, bumbling, dense guy, can win a fight in like a boxing ring in a bar. And he wins. And then they embark on this journey of like boxing and wrestling and stuff. And watch the trailer. Okay, let's talk about performances in this movie, guys. Sylvester Stallone, you know what? I really love this performance. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but I loved it because only Sylvester can take one of his own characters and interpret it perfectly. I thought he did just that. This character was very endearing for me. I love Sly in general, but I love the way that he, you know, fleshed out this character and made you want to choke him and hug him at the same time, and a lot of that was the writing, but he just killed it. Like, he's perfect, his little quirks and his timing. I love this character, and I love Sylvester's acting in this movie. Most of you probably think I've lost my mind. That's just me. Okay, everyone else in this film, I'm not going to talk on a whole lot, honestly, but I thought that the other two main characters in this movie, which is Sylvester's brother and Sylvester's cousin, both did very well. Like, they both make their characters very believable, which is half the battle, but they just took the material, in my opinion, and went as far as they could go with it, which was awesome. Like, they just played the characters really well and made them very believable, which is awesome. So I thought they did very well. The supporting cast on the whole for this, I liked. I thought they did well. And I'm not only, like, okay, some people are like, why are you only mentioning Sylvester Stallone? Because the movie is not only about him, it's really about the two of them. Like, the screen time is about divided between him and his brother. I just didn't think it was necessary to ramble on. I'm really trying to make these shorter for you guys. So I felt like, though, that the guy that played the brother totally killed it. I really do. I felt like he did well. The directing for this, I really liked this, guys. Hold the tomatoes. I'm just gonna totally, like, say everything bad about it and then tell you what I think. This is Sylvester's first time directing, and he actually wrote the screenplay before he wrote the Rocky screenplay, and basically people were like, oh, Rocky did really well, this should do really well too, and we're gonna let you direct it because why not? And yeah, they were basically hoping for a repeat success of Rocky. Is the only reason that they gave him the money to make this movie. Sylvester, he was so inexperienced, bless his heart. It does show in the film that he's very inexperienced. They kept saying that everybody would be in place, everybody would be ready to go, and then they would stand there waiting because Sly had forgotten to yell cut, like, action. Like, not even kidding you. Like, which is really bad, but that kind of makes me laugh and love him even more. So, I don't know. I thought it was good. You know what? The directing is simple. It's plain. It's kind of, it's a little underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, but it's his first attempt. He's green as the grass. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I thought he did very well for his first time, and I thought he did very well, with his material. Like, he just did well. I loved it. Honestly, I really like the directing for this, and a lot of people are, like, thinking I'm crazy. I enjoyed it a lot. Is it one of the best directing jobs in the world? Haha! Where are you? Like, no. But this one loved it a lot. The music for this film is perfect. It is. Sly just works perfect with Bill Conti. Like, they just get each other. And especially, the Rocky movies, Bill is very talented in that he really understands the type of film that he's scoring, and he goes along with it really well. And I'm not just talking about, like, how the Rocky score is so epic and awesome, but I'm talking about, like, this is kind of not to do with Paradise Alley, but my favorite part of the Rocky score is the segment that's called First Date, and it's the piano kind of solo thing that Bill Conti wrote. He does well to me in the more intimate moments. Like, he really does, and a lot of people overlook that about his scores, but I think he does well. And to me, that's my favorite part of his scores. It's not like the majestic, over-the-top stuff, which he does really well, but the intimate moments, I think he does well. I like the score for this a lot. The cinematography for this, I felt like this film was very dark in tone, but I felt like that added to the film because they're trying to show, like, the depravity of their circumstances. So I thought the cinematography for this was really good. The editing for me, by Eve Newman, I liked the editing for this. I didn't think it dragged. I thought the pacing was pretty good. There was a couple of scenes that I probably wouldn't have included, but I enjoyed the editing. I thought it was fine. The writing for this is my favorite part about this movie. I love Sly's writing, period. Like, I just love his screenplays. Like, they just make me happy. Like, I love his screenplays. I love his style of writing. I think he kills it every time. That's kind of personal taste, in a way, because some of them are not the best screenplays, honestly, but I love them. They're awesome. So, to see him have a film that's totally him, he's acting it, he's written it, and he's directing it, it's like all Sly, not as far as screen time, but as far as interpretation of his own work. I love this. Like, I thought the writing for this is so cute and dorky and endearing, and how bad it sometimes is, and the way he acts his own characters just makes me so happy. And I love his writing. Like, I love Sly's writing. Like, I love the way he writes movies, period. So I love the writing for this, guys. It's kind of so bad it's good. Like, it's just all Sylvester Stallone. If you don't like Sylvester Stallone's writing, you're going to hate it. But if you love it like me, you're going to love it. And you're going to be like, oh, this is so awesome to watch Sly just take a movie and do what he wants. Yay! Let's talk Parents' Guide on this movie, guys. The language category for this film. There is no language in this film. Yay! That makes me so happy. Oh my gosh. Which I totally did not see coming at all, because I was thinking this is going to have a ton of language in it because it's the slums of New York and it's like ghetto and all this kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, no language. Yes! Sylvester Stallone proved to the world right here and now that you do not need filthy language to prove the depravity of the slums of New York. Hallelujah, brother. Yes, like, oh my gosh, the language wouldn't have added anything to the movie. Like, you can totally see how bad of circumstances they're living in and everything else without a single word of language. I love you, Sylvester Stallone. Like, this, seriously, guys, this is awesome. And for anyone to ever say, oh gosh, I really needed that F-bomb there to help, portray my emotions, I just don't buy it. And this film is, like, proving it, like, right here. You don't need language. Don't say it. Okay. I love that so much. Okay. Just saying, there's no language. Yes. Okay. There is one religious exclamations, we'll give him that, okay? There's 2 sexual references, there's cleavage, one of the characters is a prostitute. Sorry, I've transitioned on into sexual content. As far as drug and alcohol, there's smoking and drinking, and there's time spent in bars. As far as violence and gore, there's wrestling and fighting and cuts and some knife violence, but it's not excessive. So I thought it was fine. Special notes time, guys. Sly sings the opening song of the film, which made me so happy because I heard his voice and I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally Sylvester Stallone. And then, like, the rational part of me was like, no, he's not gonna sing the opening song too. Yes, he did! Yay! Oh my god. You know what? I actually, like, thought it was decent. Like, his singing voice is not great, but it was just like, yes! And I was, like, singing along. Like, it was like, oh my god. Yay! That just made me happy. Like, to me, that just totally added to the movie. Add. Okay. Love Sly's writing. Love. Like, I love it. I love his characters. His characters to me are so freaking lovable. Even the ones that you don't like so much, like, even then, they're so believable. You're just like, I know that guy. He lives in my neighborhood. Like, I love his writing, and I fall in love with his characters every time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you. So endearing, and so humanly emotionally touching. Like, just like, humans, let's be a human. Let me just, like, talk to you and be a real human. Like, I love that about his characters. The next note, I've already said it, characters of Sly and his brother are so endearing. Oh my gosh, I just love them. Like, even when Sly's character is, like, such this rat, like, this con man, you're just like, I still, like, love him. Anyway, the critics totally hated this movie. They thought it was pants. I love this movie, guys. I really did. It's so bad. Like, okay, it's no cinematic achievement. It's not awesome, but I freaking love this movie because I love the writing. The writing makes me so happy. Like, oh my gosh. This movie is such a feel-good, uplifting, cheerful, happy, get off the couch kind of film. Like, it's like a baby Rocky, you know? It's like, it's like so good. I don't know. I loved it. Like, I just loved it. And my last note here is, it's not a cinematic achievement, but it's still a great movie. Like, honestly, there's nothing about this movie that's like, oh my gosh, this is like so, you know, Oscar worthy, honestly, but it's such a good movie as far as, like, the writing. I just love the writing, but the acting is good, and honestly, I think Sly's inexperience and stupidity as far as, like, how to make this film adds. Like, it so adds, and you're just like, oh my gosh, he's green as the grass, and he's, like, young and stupid, and let's just go on this journey together and watch you mess up, and I'll just be like, it's okay, and, like, I'm like, this is probably one of the more personal reviews I've done. I know it is, because usually I'm like, no, I'm a critic. That was not the best directing, Sylvester. You know, shake my little finger at you, but gosh, I don't care if it's not awesome. I just loved it. Like, I really did. Okay, I'm telling you guys, if you love Sylvester Stallone, watch this movie. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I watched it for that reason and for Bill Conti. I love Sylvester Stallone a lot. Honestly, sometimes his acting for me does not get there, but his writing, love his writing style. Especially his early writing. So, that's the only reason I watched this movie. Was totally him. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It's totally him. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. Like, I would turn it on, like, right now. I would buy this movie. Like, I love this movie, guys. Okay. Critically alone. We're giving this film 3 stars out of 5. As far as my personal love, it's a 5 stars out of 5. Which means I'm going to kind of combine the two and give this film 4 stars out of 5. You know, I don't know if, like, this helps you guys any. Like, I think you can kind of tell my taste in movies from like a lot of previous reviews, especially since I've done so many now. But if you like my taste in films, then I'm telling you to go watch this movie and you won't be disappointed. If you don't, then this is, like, I guess a warning for you that I loved it to stay away from it. I don't know. This is probably one of the most personal reviews I've ever done, because I'm always like, critic, you know, Margie, don't be like, oh, I love this movie. Who cares if you love the movie? Care about like how good the directing was. Well, this movie is like, you can't do that. You just have to be like, oh my gosh, it's Sylvester Stallone, whom I love, and it's stupid and corny, but it's beautiful and it makes me really happy, and I love this film. Like, it's kind of so bad it's good, only it's good. Like, it's just a good movie. Okay, friends, thank you so much for watching. And also, by the way, like, if you would be interested, I don't know if anyone wants to do this. I feel like I'm kind of opening myself up for like, this is Pandora's box here. I don't really want to get into this, but I don't know if you guys like want more personal opinions on films, or if you want like more of the critic side of me. Like, let me know. I like struggle kind of with keeping a balance. I'm always like trying to like shut off the personal side, because I feel like that's not critic enough. But I don't know. Leave some comments and we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out my review of the 1978 film Paradise Alley. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next review.